Welcome back to another deep dive. Let me ask you something a bit unsettling today. What if you could have a society engineered, truly meticulously designed for just absolute happiness and stability? Everything smooth, no pain, no real suffering, but maybe no deep feelings either. What's the actual cost? Today, we're diving deep into Aldous Huxley's Brave New World. It came out way back in 1932. But this isn't just some old sci-fi novel. It's this incredibly sharp piece of social commentary that honestly feels quite relevant even now. Our mission here is to really unpack Huxley's vision, this whole world state thing. We'll look at how they control things, these bizarre but kind of brilliant mechanisms. We'll meet the people living there. And we'll grapple with the big questions it throws up about being human, about freedom, and what happiness even is. We're aiming to pull out the key insights, the surprising bits, and those, well, chilling warnings. Give you the essence of why this book still hits home.
Oh, it absolutely does still hit home. The world state, at its heart, it's all about stability, order, efficiency. Those values are placed way above things like individual freedom or even, truth itself. And what's really key here is how science and tech aren't just tools for making life better. Not in our sense. They're the architects. They build the whole social structure, the psychology, even the biology. Everything is engineered, not for human potential, but just to keep things exactly as they are, to maintain that stability.
It is terrifyingly rational when you think about it like that, isn't it? Just try and picture it. A society where those ideas, stability, order, are pushed to the absolute limit. No messiness, no surprises, just perfect control. Sterile, almost. The future Huxley paints is, well, it's vivid and chilling. It really makes you think what that life would actually feel like. A world where being unique isn't just frowned upon, it's systematically stamped out.
Right. So, okay, to get this perfect world, we need to start right at the beginning, or maybe even before the beginning, because natural birth, forget it. That's like ancient history in the world state. One of the first really unsettling things Huxley throws at you is how they've totally taken over reproduction. People aren't born, they're made in these places called hatcheries. And they use this thing, the Buchanovsky method, where one egg can apparently make up to 96 identical embryos.
Yes, exactly. Up to 96. It's mass production applied to human beings. And it's not just about efficiency, it's about eliminating individuality right from the biological source. Mass-producing humans for specific jobs, ensuring conformity before they're even decanted. Decanted, not born.
Precisely. And this biological engineering, it's the bedrock for their whole social structure. It's incredibly rigid. You've got five main castes. Alphas at the top, they're engineered to be smarter, the leaders, the thinkers. Then betas, the skilled workers, still pretty high up, comfortable. And then below them, you have gammas, deltas, and epsilons. They're designed for the more basic, menial jobs. Progressively less intelligent, more standardized physically as you go down the scale.
And they just accept this.
Well, that's the fascinating part. They're not just designed for their role, they are conditioned, deeply conditioned to love it, to be perfectly happy with their lot. There's no envy, no wanting to climb the ladder, because everyone's brainwashed into believing their specific place is the best place to be.
Brainwashed is the word.
Yeah.
But how do they manage that? How do they instill that level of contentment? Beyond the genetics, I mean.
Right, beyond the biological. That's where hypnopedia comes in. Sleep teaching.
Sleep teaching.
Yeah, from infancy. While these children are asleep, they hear these whispers, these recorded lessons, slogans, values, played over and over. It sinks right into their subconscious. It's not like learning facts. It's shaping their fundamental beliefs, their desires, their loyalties.
Can you give an example? Like, what would they hear?
Oh, things like, I'm so glad I'm a beta, or alpha children wear gray. They work much harder than we do because they're so frightfully clever. I'm really awfully glad I'm a beta because I don't work so hard. Or for the lower castes, things reinforcing the value of consumption or simple pleasures. Repeat it thousands of times and it just becomes part of who they are. Ingrained truth.
Okay, so that's incredibly powerful conditioning.
Yeah.
But what if someone still feels unhappy, like a moment of doubt or sadness? Does that ever happen?
Well, that's where Soma comes in. Huxley's stroke of genius, really. Or maybe terror. Soma isn't just a drug you might choose to take. It's the government-provided, socially endorsed cure-all for any negative feeling.
So like state-sponsored happiness pills.
Exactly. But more than that, it provides holidays from reality. It ensures calm, contentment, freedom from any emotional distress. Feeling blue, take a gram. Feeling angry, take 2. Want a weekend away from yourself, take 3. It's designed specifically to squash dissent, critical thinking, even just quiet contemplation. It's a chemical control mechanism, a pillar of their society.
A chemical straitjacket. Okay,
Yeah.
so you have the system Genetic engineering, sleep teaching, soma. It sounds almost foolproof.
Yeah.
So where does the conflict come from? Where do the cracks start to show?
Well, Huxley gives us characters who don't quite fit the mold. That's where the story really takes off.
Right, like Bernard Marx. Tell us about him.
Bernard's an alpha, so he should be at the top, confident, fitting in. But he's physically smaller than other alphas. There are rumors something went wrong in his conditioning, and because of this difference, he feels like an outsider. He actually dislikes the shallowness he sees everywhere, the constant pleasure-seeking, the casual sex. He secretly wants something more, something real.
Okay, so he's got this internal conflict. And then there's Lenina Crown.
Yes, Lenina. She's a beta, works in the hatcheries. She's much more conventional than Bernard. She accepts the world state's values, enjoys the fun, the feelies, the promiscuity. Everyone belongs to everyone else, as the saying goes.
Right.
But she finds herself drawn to Bernard, even though he's a bit odd. She agrees to go with him to the savage reservation. And that attraction, that little deviation from the norm, that's another tiny crack in the perfect surface.
The savage reservation. Okay, tell us about that. That sounds like a huge contrast.
It's a massive contrast. Bernard gets permission to take Lenina there. It's in New Mexico. This is one of the few places the world state left untouched, fenced off. And here, people live, well, like people used to. They have families, they give birth naturally, they get old, they have religion, rituals, suffering. It's messy, sometimes brutal, but undeniably human in a way the world state isn't.
And this is where they meet John.
Exactly. John, who becomes known as the Savage, and his mother, Linda.
And Linda.
Yeah.
She's from the world state originally, right?
She is. Turns out she visited the reservation years ago with the man who is now the director of hatcheries and conditioning. She got lost, injured, pregnant with his child, John, and was left behind. A huge scandal, obviously kept secret.
Wow. So John grew up completely outside the system.
Completely. But crucially, Linda taught him to read. And the only book they had was a battered copy of the complete works of Shakespeare.
Shakespeare, in that context, that's wild.
It shapes his entire worldview. He learns about love, passion, tragedy, jealousy, God, honor, all these concepts totally alien to the world state. He's this incredible mix of savage traditions and high Elizabethan English.
So he's a bridge between two worlds, but maybe doesn't belong in either?
That becomes his tragedy. And Linda's story is tragic, too, when they're eventually brought back to the world state.
Oh, they bring him back.
Bernard sees an opportunity, brings them back.
Right.
Linda, having been deprived of soma for years, essentially overdoses on it constantly upon her return. She can't handle the civilized world or her past shame.
And how does the world state deal with her?
It doesn't, really. She's an embarrassment, a relic. She dies in a hospital, surrounded by identical Delta children being death-conditioned, treating death as nothing significant. John is horrified, devastated by her undanified end.
That must have been a massive culture shock for him.
Immense. His raw grief, his public display of sorrow over Linda's death. It's completely incomprehensible to the world state citizens. They've been conditioned against strong emotion, against attachment, against mourning. His pain is obscene to them.
So John's in London now. A celebrity, right? The Savage.
Yes, he's initially a sensation. Everyone wants to see him, study him.
But how does he react to their world? The utopia?
At first, maybe some fascination, but it quickly turns to disgust, profound disgust.
Why? What specifically repulses him?
The superficiality. The lack of meaning, the constant distraction with pointless entertainment like the feelies movies you can physically feel, the way sex is treated so casually, devoid of love or commitment. And soma. He sees soma as poison, a way to avoid reality, to avoid being truly human.
He rejects it all.
Completely. He values the things Shakespeare taught him. Beauty, suffering, sacrifice, love, individuality, everything the world state has deliberately eliminated for the sake of, well, comfortable numbness.
This sounds like it's leading to a major clash.
It absolutely does. It leads to probably the most important section of the book, John's debates with Mustafa Mon.
Mon, he's one of the top dogs, right? A world controller.
Exactly. One of only 10 world controllers for the entire planet. He's incredibly intelligent, understands history, art, religion, all the things the world state suppresses. He actually chose this path.
So what's their argument about?
It's the core philosophical debate. John argues for the value of truth, beauty, art, science, religion, love, even suffering and old age, the full spectrum of human experience. He quotes Shakespeare passionately.
And Mon, how does he counter that?
Mon's argument is chillingly pragmatic. He basically says, yes, those things might have value, but they also cause instability, unhappiness, and conflict. He argues that the world state chose happiness and stability over those deeper, messier things. They sacrificed high art for the feelies, religion for community sings, truth for comfort.
He defends the system by admitting its limitations.
Precisely. He says things like, you can't have civilization without stability. You can't have stability without individual stability. He argues freedom, beauty, truth, they're too high a price to pay if the cost is misery. He believes universal happiness, even if shallow, is the ultimate goal.
That's a tough argument to refute, in a way. If everyone is genuinely happy, even if it's manufactured.
It's deeply unsettling, isn't it? Mond makes a compelling case for why they design society this way. He explains why they suppress science, art, history, because they lead to questioning, to discomfort, to instability.
It forces you, the reader, to really think. What do we value most? Comfort or truth? Stability or freedom? Even if freedom means the freedom to be unhappy.
Exactly. And that brings us right to the major themes Huxley is exploring. Warnings, really.
Okay, let's break those down. The big one seems to be freedom versus stability.
Absolutely central. The world state makes an explicit trade. Individual freedom, choice, passion, pain, all sacrificed for guaranteed societal stability and this superficial kind of happiness. Huxley forces us to ask if that trade is ever worth it.
And technology's role in this is quite specific, isn't it?
Yes. It's not about exploration or improving the human condition in a meaningful way. It's purely about control.
Like the hatcheries.
The hatcheries, the conditioning techniques, the mass production of soma. Technology serves the state, keeps people in line, and forces conformity. It's science used for social engineering, not for liberation or discovery.
There's also a strong critique of consumerism.
Right.
And just endless pleasure-seeking.
Oh, definitely. The world state runs on consumption. Ending is better than mending. Buy new things constantly. Engage in shallow entertainment. Keep busy. Keep consuming. Keep taking soma. Avoid thought. Avoid depth.
You can see the echoes today, can't you? The constant push for novelty, distraction.
It's very resonant. Huxley saw how easily people could be placated with material goods and endless, easy pleasure, how it could distract from deeper questions or dissatisfaction.
Which leads to maybe the deepest theme, the actual loss of what it means to be human.
Family, love, art, religion, philosophy, dealing with hardship, facing death. These fundamental human experiences are gone, eliminated.
So you have to ask, what's left? If you take away the struggle, the deep connections, the pain alongside the joy, what defines life? Is a life without that full spectrum truly living?
Huxley's answer seems to be a resounding no. He suggests that suffering, striving, loving deeply, even making mistakes, these are essential parts of our humanity. And a utopia that eliminates them might not be a utopia at all.
Which ties into the danger of utopias themselves.
Exactly. The warning is that the pursuit of a perfect society, one without flaws or suffering, could lead to something profoundly inhuman. A comfortable cage, perhaps, but a cage nonetheless. Maybe true growth only comes from facing challenges.
Which brings us, sadly, to John's end. It's pretty bleak.
It is. He can't cope with the world state. He tries to escape, to live alone in a lighthouse, to purify himself through self-flagellation, trying to reclaim some sense of meaning and suffering.
But the society won't let him, right?
No. He becomes a spectacle. People fly out in helicopters to watch the savage whipping himself. It's entertainment for them. His retreat becomes a circus. They throw soma pills at him.
God, that's grim.
It drives him to utter despair. He's trapped. There's no escape from this brave new world that finds his genuine pain titillating.
Then ultimately.
Ultimately, he hangs himself. It's a tragic, powerful statement. His suicide isn't just a plot point. It's the final indictment of a society that offers no room for authentic human experience, no escape from its enforced, shallow happiness.
A truly stark ending. It leaves you reeling, really.
It does. It cements Brave New World as this enduring, potent critique. It keeps forcing us to look at our own world, our own choices.
Yeah, it really challenges us, doesn't it? To think about what we might be sacrificing, maybe slowly, bit by bit, for comfort, for convenience, for stability.
Things like real connection, maybe truth, the space to feel difficult things. Are we trading them away? And is that manufactured happiness really worth the control it might require? Huxley forces that uncomfortable question.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening.
Yeah, chew on this. If you genuinely had to choose absolute guaranteed happiness but with no real freedom, or a difficult, messy freedom that includes the possibility, even the certainty of suffering, which would you pick? And maybe look around. How much of Huxley's vision, his Brave New World, do you actually see reflected, maybe subtly, maybe not so subtly, in our own society today? Our tech, our entertainment, maybe even what we wish for? Something to think about.